Glitter jacket.
Yeah, I did.
Never wore it on the show before.
Since it's our first show tonight.
This is our first show on Village Connection Network. I'm really excited.
Way to go. Give me five on that. Let's do this.
Yeah. Good evening. How are you guys?
Heather Lee, how are you, sweetheart?
I'm doing great. I had to call in because I just wanted you guys to pay extra shipping to get my shirt.
Thank you, Heather.
Actually, I'm going to give them to your father, and he's going to ship them to you.
Oh, in that case, I'll never get it.
Brought up a really good point, Darren.
Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to the Business Powwow with Darren and the Music Man. It sounds like somebody's in heat. That's good.
How are you, Music Man, this week?
Really interesting question.
That's a fantastic question, Norman.
Wow. See, I got a fantastic. You just got good. I got fantastic. What kind of toy did she like? I'm kidding.
Come on, he always goes there. Were you drinking before the show? One of the cardinal rules. Two things you never do to a woman. You never say they're old, and you never say they're heavy.
I'm never going to see her again. What's the difference?
Wait a second.
We both know I won't be seeing you again.
You know Lauren for a long time.
Yes, I do. By the way, this is a Yankee station.
It's a Yankee station. John, it's a Yankee station.
All right.
Fourth extravaganza.
Hell no.
Hi, Eileen. Eileen's on.
Hi, Eileen. Eileen, Karina is on.
Yeah,
Hi, Eileen.
Great question. We have a lot of undulations out in the field. Undulations.
Is that a one? What the hell is undulation?
Fred, don't use big words. John's not calling his chicken.
Did you just call me a chicken?
I called you a chicken. I did call you a chicken.
You called me a chicken.
I called you a chicken. Hey, right? So this
Help.
I gotta get him a cough button, Jim. What do you think?
A cough button would be a good idea. Consider that a good question that he asked? Great question.
There you go. I got
Pythons and brains.
But our own John from Hazlitt provided the confetti for the ticker tape parade. Hey, sorry. This, yeah, I was just gonna say, this show's about him. It's not about you.
Hey, give me some loving.
How are you, Music Man?
Hello, Darren. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
I'm absolutely convinced. I'm telling you got some kind of brain damage when you had that thing last year.
I'm telling you, and he called.
Seeing interviews by Darren and the Music Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Siafi and Norman Wasserman.
Let's do this, yeah.
Good evening and welcome to the Business Powwow with Darren and the Music Man. Today.
Well, no, it's no longer Darren and the Music Man.
No, it is
it's
Darren.
Darren, the producer
No.
extraordinaire.
I'm supposed to do that.
Oh, okay.
You're supposed to sit there and be quiet until I tell you to talk.
Okay, go ahead. I'll be quiet.
Tonight, producer credits to Dimples. Dimples has producer credits tonight. Jim can't be with us tonight. He's forgot to tell us that he was on vacation for tonight, and I'm sure he's watching this, as we speak right now.
He is. He's actually watching. Hey, Jim, how are you?
And Jim, if you want to call in after 8:20, please.
Yeah, listen. Jim gave me a little bit of a heart attack. Forgot to leave me the password for the computer. We got through it. We got through it. He called me at the last minute, and
You said my wife is watching, right?
Your wife? Yes. Hi, Renee.
So
how are you?
That means my little princess is watching too.
Hi,
Isabel.
Little princess. Isabel? Hi, Isabel.
Hi, Isabel.
How are you, sweetheart?
Yeah, this is Grandpapa. Not Grandpa. I'm Papa.
Okay.
The other kids, I'm Grandpa. I'm just Papa. Okay. Tonight we have.
Tonight is Give Back Wednesday, my favorite
night. It's a very special Give Back Wednesday because the lady that is here, who is the president of this organization, is it. When it comes, if you ever are looking for a chairman of the board or a president, she doesn't have any time, so don't even bother, because she has built her charity up to probably in my opinion, the number one in Long Island, and it's just a phenomenal organization. She had some tragedies and turned the tragedies around to something very, very positive, and helps a tremendous amount of people locally, and I think possibly out of state as well, in what it is that she does. So let me introduce everybody to Terry Magro who is the chairman of the Michael Magro Foundation, and good evening.
Good evening, Terry.
Nice to see you.
Welcome.
I'm so happy you were here tonight.
Yeah. Thank you. It was really a pleasure. I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I was elevated to chairman. That's great, Norman. I like that.
Hey,
I like that.
You could be chairman, CEO, whatever. In my book, you
Chief
are it.
cook and bottle washer.
And you are.
Guess.
And
Chief
you know
cook
that.
And bottle wash.
So Terry, for the viewers who don't know about the Michael Magro Foundation, please, fill us in. What is the foundation all about? How did it get started? Yada yada, all of that fun stuff.
So, Darren, in 2004, our family went through a journey that I hope nobody ever has to go through. My son at the time, Mark, was 11 years old, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Perfectly healthy kid, only went to the doctor for well visits and camp physicals, ends up with this cancer diagnosis. So he's in the middle of treatment for his Hodgkin's lymphoma at the Cancer Center for Kids at NYU Winthrop. And progressing along, it's very difficult. The course of treatment is very, very difficult. So this journey for Paul and I was kind of hit us between the eyes. We both were working full time.
Paul's your husband, right?
And Paul is my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Very difficult to maintain full-time jobs and have a child going through cancer treatment. So Paul, being a chef instructor at the time, his job carried the insurance, so it was a no-brainer that he was working full-time. I was fortunate enough, clinically I'm a nurse, I was working for a sales company, so I was able to take the hiatus and be able to be with the boys. And because of the nursing background, that made even more sense. So as we're moving through from March to the end of May, Michael, who was 13 at the time, and this was also in 2004, so March and then May of
Michael's
2004.
the second son.
Michael was my oldest son at 13. Presented with flu-like symptoms. Brought him to the doctor right after Memorial Day. They said he had pneumonia. So they were treating him for pneumonia for about 1 week. The pneumonia treatment course was not working, and he actually was getting worse instead of better. So on a second chest x-ray, they found a spot, brought him back, and he was diagnosed with leukemia. So now...
So now you have two boys
that
are
going
through this now.
2.5 years apart, couple of months.
It's your life.
Yeah, my whole life just flashing right in front of me with these two, my whole life, really. You're right, Norman. We were devastated. We didn't know which way to go, what to do. And so now both of them are in cancer treatment at the same place. Dr. Mark Weinblatt's the treating physician. One of them is coming towards the end of his Hodgkin's treatment, is in radiation, and then Michael is gearing up, starting with chemotherapy. Unfortunately, Michael was 13 and a half when he was diagnosed, so he was put into a very high-risk group for two reasons. One was his age, and the second was the type of cell that he had.
Okay, so for those who don't know, and I always like a good education, what is considered a high-risk group?
So the high risk between 9 and 13 is, where you're going through puberty.
Right.
So your hormones are taking over and cells are multiplying at a little bit more of a rapid rate. So right there, that puts you into a risk group that they're watching at a little bit longer. So it's kind of age related as it speeds up the process. And then the type of cell he had. He was a little bit compromised now because Michael was a very lean and mean kid. He was very much into sports. Didn't have a lot of fat on him by any stretch of the imagination.
And he was so good looking.
And he was, he looked like his mom.
Good looking kid.
He looked like his mom.
Looked like his mom. But the pneumonia really compromised him. So, he really had a hard time trying to fight. He fought a battle royal, I tell you. He was really an unbelievable trooper. But it got ahead of him, and they just were not able to help him the same way that they were able to help with Mark. And he was put on a ventilator and passed away on July 30th of 2004. So he was diagnosed June 8th, and he died July 30th.
It was progressed very quickly.
It progressed very quickly. So it was kind of advanced. You know, the problem with diagnosis of cancers, whether you're pediatrics or adult, is they say etiology unknown. They're not quite sure what starts the whole process.
Right.
And then boom, all of a sudden it's like, wow, you know, where did we catch this, and how far along is it? And you know, it's very difficult.
And your
it's
son
very,
Mark
very difficult.
survived.
Mark, God bless him, is 26. He's doing really well. He's cancer free, you know, for many years now.
We're
15 years out. So Mark works for a company that does build and design for kitchens. So he followed in Paul's footsteps, going to the Culinary Institute for a couple of years, and then decided to do more of
Hyde Park. I went to Marist.
Great place. Oh, did you go to Marist? Right down the road.
Right down the road.
Great place.
Yeah.
And then he decided he wanted more of the business hospitality side, so he transferred to Drexel, and he was working when he graduated from Drexel for a different company as a project manager.
I thought Drexel was mostly engineering. No?
That's a big piece of it, but they also have a big medical school. They have engineering. They have a lot, and culinary and hospitality is another big one of their divisions. So he was recruited back from Philadelphia to New York. He works for Elite Studio E and Farmingdale. He lives in Manhattan, and he runs.
He does a reverse
commute. Right.
So he lives in Manhattan and goes to Farmingdale. That's interesting.
Intermittently, but he travels a lot. Their accounts are all over the United States. So he's doing really well.
Puts kitchens together?
He's a project manager for the design side of it.
Institutional kitchens or residential?
It's all like no residential. It's
commercial.
All Fortune 500 companies. So they're big companies that they put anywhere
so like Google
from
and things like that.
Exactly. High end.
Because that's what they all do now. All of these big companies.
I know.
They give free food to their people.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. It really is. Anywhere from a coffee bar to a full-fledged kitchen being put in.
I have a client in the city that is a millennial company. They're in the human resource world. They're a job board, and I went to visit them during the summer. I didn't want to leave. It was 3 floors of millennial, like you see on TV, with ping pong tables and coffee bars and all this stuff.
Yeah,
sensational.
I know.
And kitchens with,
they have the right idea. They really do. They enjoy their work day. They just
no dress code.
They try to make it so people feel like they're at home and they're relaxed and they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
A lot of brainstorming. They sit back, they enjoy, they bring them lunch. They don't want people to leave as much.
We were those good old days where we were rushing through rush hour and sitting
jumping
on
that train.
You had 1 hour. If you were a minute late,
you were docked.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you have this situation.
Okay.
And just want to get back on.
Yeah, so let's get back on track.
Get back on track
again. And you go through this. It's devastating. When did you decide that you wanted to do something more than just be sad and do, because it's something that can never leave you?
No, it never leaves. It's with you every day. People say, as time goes on, it gets easier. That's a fallacy.
Yeah.
And I really wish people wouldn't say that, because it does not get any easier. Actually, I have to say, Norman, very much at the beginning, I tried to go, Paul and I went to, a couple of those bereavement classes and we attempted to do that once or twice. It just wasn't for me. So
you felt like you needed to make a difference.
I needed to do something. Right. I needed to make a difference. This kid was 13. He had a great life, and he was so wonderful. And his friends would call him a peacemaker. Loved lacrosse. So we started the foundation actually right away. We started in 2004. We were raising money for. We're in the Hicksville school system.
How did you get started?
We just got started.
You just woke up and said, "I'm doing it."
Yeah. Basically, me, Norman, a lot of years when I put my mind to it.
What does the foundation do?
So what we decided, the mission of the foundation, when we sat down with a couple of people, we said we were going to raise money. Originally, we were going to help the school system and we were going to help the hospital. So what we learned very quickly from walking this journey ourselves was a lot of money goes through your fingers at a rapid rate, and your bills just go way overboard, and your income has gone down because you can't work. And there's a lot of single family, so it's only one income to begin with, and now you're stressed with this.
In today's day and age, especially with the way health insurance is structured, most health insurance plans that are affordable, it's out of pocket $6,000, $7,000
and this is 15
before you even
years
hit it.
ago.
And this was 15 years ago, and you know,
We've only
insurance
seen it
doesn't
get
cover.
worse.
This is people. Insurance doesn't cover everything.
No,
They
and
don't.
you're right that first 7,000 or somewhere in
lot
that
of money for a lot of
vicinity,
people.
a lot of people don't have that, so it's going on a credit card, and that's how they're paying
Or they're
for
borrowing
their
money from
treatment, or they're
people.
borrowing
There
money from
wasn't
family and friends.
cancer care.
There
and
wasn't
such
right,
at that
exactly,
time.
exactly. So our mission from the beginning, when we sat down with a couple of people and decided that we were going to do this and make it a 501c from the beginning, which we did with the help of our attorneys and accountants and a lot of great people, was to help the families direct. So we could have gone and there's so many directions that you can go in, but we did not go into the research, mode of it. We really wanted to help the families because we saw how much struggling everybody was going through to just pay a utility bill, the car payment, parking, gas, little things that sound like it doesn't matter all that much, are monumental. We pay bills now for families that, their car loans, they could be 3 months in the rears, and it's $800, $1,000 or more utility bills.
So really, the foundation is really about helping those people and families in need.
Exactly.
So they don't have to now, you get enough to worry about when your child is sick or a family member is sick.
Do these families get in touch with you, or you find out about them and you reach them?
They get in touch with me, or it's the social workers, case managers, the clinical people that get in touch. So the main hospital is, as you can imagine, since it's at we were at Winthrop, is NYU Winthrop, NYU Langone in the city. We work with Cohen, Stony Brook, every hospital that's around us. Through the website, we receive calls from all over the United States. So we have now networked ourselves with quite a few hospitals and have gotten on track with a lot of the social workers and case managers, which are the ones that know what that financial status is looking like.
Do you have any subdivisions out of New York?
We have a whole division in Florida, in Naples, Florida, and we work with Golisano Children's Hospital. That hospital came to us through a board member, 2 board members actually, that have second locations to their businesses in Naples, Florida. And so they brought us to Golisano. So we work very closely with Golisano.
I never heard of Golisano.
The Golisano family actually comes from, started in Westchester, and they've developed, really.
Who were they?
Tremendous.
Were they doctors?
They were business people, I believe. I believe they were. I don't think they were in the medical, but they started. They very philanthropic and started Golisano's hospital system, and then in Florida, it's the Children's Hospital. So it's a pediatric cancer organization. So it has to be a pediatric cancer for the family to qualify, and that's where our mission is.
So your mission is really to help those families that have a child, right, 18 or younger, is
21 even.
21
I mean, there's
or younger,
definitely
that is inflicted with cancer, and you're really helping them not worry about those other things.
Exactly. Just
so
taking
they can
something
focus
off their
on
plate.
their, right. You can focus on it, which is a great thing. So Terry, if somebody wanted to get in touch with the Michael Magro Foundation and find out more about what you do and how you do it, or even better, want to donate, how can they do that?
So they can email me at T Magro, and it's Magro, and I laugh at that because people always put a W at the end of it, but it's T Magro, Magro Foundation.
And don't you spell your first name differently too?
At yahoo.com. Yes, I spell it Terry is Terrie, but we just have it at T. And the website is michaelmagrofoundation.com. So I encourage people to definitely look at the website and read and understand what it is. And honestly, I encourage people to always research an organization before they donate anything, because they really have to believe in the mission. We are an all-volunteer board. Over 90 cents on a dollar goes right back to the foundation.
Phenomenal. That's great
and
numbers.
We've raised about $2.2 million since we started.
Wow, that's
in
fantastic.
2004, we were just starting the journey. January of 2005, we were incorporated.
How many families have you helped?
We've probably helped close to 1,000 families at this point. Yeah, we're usually somewhere in the vicinity of 150 to 250,000 a year that goes out to the families. We pay the bills direct. So if it's a utility company and the family's from Utah, then we're paying that utility company. Just this week alone, we were paying car loans, a lot of parking and Uber. It's unbelievable how many gift cards we buy. But we'll buy gift cards locally to the Targets and Walmarts because they're all over, and people can access food, they can get prescriptions, they can get clothing, whatever it is.
So I want to give a couple of quick shout outs to some of the people that are watching. So Alan Schwartz is on.
Alan,
hey
Alan.
Hi.
Hey Alan.
Just read your email.
Tom Glotty.
Tom's on my board. Tom is fantastic. We have to talk about Tom.
And your honey said hi, honey. So
my honey.
Your honey said hi, honey.
I thought it was Terry's honey.
But when we come back, we're going to find out more about all the great work that the Michael Magro Foundation does.
And your events.
And your events. And if you want to donate or if you want to help out, like Terry said before, go to michaelmagrofoundation.com or email her at tmagro without a W at Michael Magro Foundation.
No, at Magro Foundation.
At magrofoundation.com.
Yeah.
And we'll be back right after these messages.
Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Doug Cormack, Executive Director of Orchard Estate of Woodbury, Woodbury's first assisted living and memory care community. We're opening this summer for seniors who need a little or a lot of assistance with things like taking their medication, meals, or just a maintenance-free lifestyle. Our experienced staff keeps seniors and their families connected to what matters most. Call us today to inquire about our model apartments and discover how Orchard Estate of Woodbury is providing the lifestyle Long Island seniors deserve. Call 516-246-2167. That's 516-246-2167 or visit orchardestatewoodbury.com. Licensure pending.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show.
Small business owners, are you having trouble growing your business? Do you feel like you're always swimming upstream? Do you feel like daily tension that I can't get ahead and I don't know why? Hi everybody, my name is Darren Sayafi and I'm a business therapist. What's a business therapist? Well, some people call us coaches, some people call us advisors, other people even call us strategists. We take a vested interest in you and your personal development as a person and as a business owner to give you the tools and structure that you need to take it to that next level. So don't wait. Give me a call today for your free consultation and let me show you how you can help yourself.
You're killing me, dude. You are killing me.
It's the day before.
Welcome back to the Business Power Hour.
Was I supposed to say that?
He was supposed to say that. So
okay.
He's not taking. I didn't give you the finger.
Well, you're not Jim. Jim gives me the finger. So we are here with Terry Magro of the Michael Magro Foundation, and I gave her a high-ranking title of being the CEO.
Chairman,
CEO,
all the above,
Emperor.
All the above.
And we know that there's a lot of followers of Terry that are watching in tonight, and there are board members, and we'd love to have you call in and tell us some things about the organization at 631-415-1365. That's 631-415-1365. the lines are open, and we'd love to hear from you, especially Tom Galati. We've heard some great things during the commercial break about you, and we'd love to hear you. So call on in. And Alan, if you're still watching, make a phone call. Say hi.
All right, Terry. So before the break, right, we were talking about all the great things that you guys do, and you're paying bills and all of that. Do you do educational seminars, or do you said you had bereavement groups that you went to, and
right.
do you have support groups that you
we
guys
have
do?
not started support groups specifically for the foundation, but I do a lot of interacting with the moms as I get to know them from the recommendations of the social workers, because it's a lot easier for a family member, and it's not always the moms, but a lot of times it is. They relate more to me as the mom, to be able to talk to them and
give them
some sort of ideas and understand. I understand what they're going through.
Right.
And a lot of times the families try really hard to understand what's going on. But they don't. It's very difficult. It's a tough shoe to walk in.
If I could ask
really
you, if say for example, my child is now afflicted, and you're referred to me, Norman calls you up and says, Terry, Darren's got this situation. He really can use your help. What's the process that you would go through in order to qualify me to be, part of your foundation or
right,
a recipient of
So there is a small application. It's not very complicated, but the first thing I would do is reach out to you and ask you who is your social worker and what hospital is your child being treated at. Right. And once I get that information, then I call out on your behalf to the social worker and say
so
that
you
Darren,
don't have a staff member, you do it yourself.
No, I do it myself. Darren reached out to me, and I need to talk to you a little bit about the situation and what are the needs that you feel would best help that particular family. And then the social workers usually explain a little bit about the family situation and say, they really, there's some siblings in the home that can really use a little bit of attention. Maybe you can help give them some gift cards, or you can offset their medical expenses, pay some co-pays. They're very far behind. They have a lot of American Express bills, because every time they park in the garage of the hospital, it's $50 a day. Whatever hospital it is, they're all the same.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they're falling behind in their electric. I just the other day just called a utility company.
Oh, we got a call coming on.
All right.
Good evening and welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man. Who's calling?
This is Tom Galati.
Hey Tom, how are you?
Hi Tom.
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Tom.
Nice to hear from you.
Nice to speak with you.
What would you like to say about the foundation?
I would just say that I've been honored to be a part of it and serve on the board for the last 6 years. Terry, her husband Paul, their son Mark, they're just amazing people, and they help so many families. And it's just such an amazing organization to be a part of.
Thank you, Tom. We truly appreciate all of your help. Tom is an advocate for the foundation and runs our annual car show, which has really...
Oh, he does the car show.
It has really grown.
Nice job.
Nice job is right.
Tom, if I could ask you, this is Darren, Tom. If I could ask you,
yes,
what drew you to want to be a part of this foundation?
Well, I grew up across the street from the Magro family. My parents still live there in Hicksville.
Okay.
And we were always involved in some way. We would go to their events. I would attend the car show, for example, with my father, who's also very active in the Long Island car community. And I think it was around 2013. I was working at LinkedIn at the time. And I had reached out to Terry to ask some questions about applying for a grant for the Michael Magro Foundation. And LinkedIn was a very philanthropic company and still is. And so there were a few ways that I started to try and get the foundation involved because I knew, Terry and the foundation were doing so many great things. And it was around that time that Terry had said, and asked me to join the board and asked if I wanted to get more involved. And I was honored. And I have a background in digital marketing and advertising, and I felt like it was a way to kind of tap into some of the things that I was doing at LinkedIn, some of the things that I knew about social media. And over the past few years, we've gotten much more sophisticated in working with an agency too that does a lot for the foundation. But it was a way for me to get more involved and get my family involved, which feels amazing. And so that was around the time that I got more involved and joined the board.
That's fantastic,
It's
Tom.
fantastic, yeah.
Tom, we want to thank you for calling in and giving us that testimonial. And, we wish you well, and we really appreciate all the work that you do to help support this.
And a happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and be well.
Yes, Tom, have a great
Thank you. We're
Thanksgiving.
just going to wish you all the same. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you.
Tom.
Have a good night,
Thank
Tom.
Bye-bye.
See, that was nice.
That was very
That was very nice.
That's nice.
That's a great story.
That it is,
You
and,
know?
and Tom,
Compound that by how many people on your board.
right?
And that's what we're going to get about you.
That's really the crux of it. We're all a family because we all work really close together. Tom's daughter Vanessa is so adorable, and she collects shells at the beach, and she colors them, and she paints them, and she sells them. She's our youngest ambassador.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Speaking of young, what is the youngest patient or family? I mean, not the age of the family, but the age of the patient.
The age of the patient.
Child.
1.
Ugh.
Wow.
I had a feeling you were going to say something like that. And
Very
that's
young.
heartbreaking.
We're seeing so much more. This, research is doing a lot, but there's just so much more of it. I don't know if it's just being diagnosed earlier, but it's incredible.
Do you think it's a combination of our ability to diagnose earlier and these chemicals that we're dumping into our body through release foods and all this other stuff?
Environmental, genetics, everything plays a role. It's just unbelievable. But that being said, some of the patients that we care for, even at the pediatric level, could be in their 20s because the type of cell that's been diagnosed for whatever cancer it is a pediatric cell. So they technically you would think would be with an adult oncologist.
Right.
But because of the type of cell that they present with.
Okay, so
I know I'm confusing
I want a little,
it, right?
no, I want to, and I do this all the time, like for clarification purposes for myself, because I'm a little dense at times. So when somebody gets cancer, you got different types of cells. Like
exactly.
if I'm
There's different types of cancers.
Well, if I get diagnosed with lymphoma, right? Mm-hmm. At a different, you have different types of cells.
There are many different types of cancer cells. We all have cancer cells in our bodies to begin with. So something is dormant, and now all of a sudden has come to the surface. There are different. When they diagnose it and they take a sample, they start to do the testing in the lab. That's when they get down to the cellular level and say exactly what the cell type is like of the cancer that they have just diagnosed.
So what they did was they kind of said the most common one in children is this type of cell. So it's considered a pediatric cell.
A little different.
Different. Okay. So educate me.
Neuroblastoma, which is related to the brain, leukemia. Those are probably the two highest rated pediatric cancers that any pediatric oncologist sees. But now you're diagnosed with leukemia, and so let's go back to Michael. He was diagnosed with leukemia. There are 4 or 5 different forms of leukemia. Within each classification, there are different cell types. He had a T cell, which in 2004 was a little bit rarer, and it was a little bit more aggressive in the way it presented itself. So there are so many variables. There's no two things are exactly the same.
We talk about, we see on TV St. Jude's.
Correct.
And they have this big pediatric research center and so on. Are they just what they say they are? Is that the place to go? Do they take care of all your needs financially and so on?
I can't speak for them directly, but they do an awful lot of great stuff. But there are so many centers around. In cancer research, there are different organizations, and the protocols are written on a national level. So you're diagnosed with ALL, which was the type of leukemia that Michael had. Whether he was diagnosed in New York or California or Utah or wherever he happened to be, everybody is treated with the same protocols because that's what the treatment is all about. And then the pediatricians and the oncologists, they all confer and they talk about the different nuances that are going on because now each child is a little bit different. So the treatment course may alter a little bit depending on what they're seeing. But basically, you're all being treated off the same protocol. So no matter what hospital you go to, if it's Memorial, if it's Winthrop, it's in New York Presbyterian, if any hospital, you name it, they're following those same protocols.
So that they're really, because you see these hospitals that are sitting there going, you know, we're the best and we have the best type of treatments, but what you're telling us is that the basic treatments are basically the same no matter what hospital it is. They're just trying to get you through the door.
Yeah.
Right?
What's the best is the staff and the psychosocial component.
Spoken like a nurse.
Yes, to how it is definitely brought to fruition. We had consults in 3 and 4 different hospitals for each one of them because I really wanted to have the best for them. The best not being, the treatment was the same. It didn't matter. They all mapped it out exactly the same. What the difference was the feeling of how you related to the oncologist, the social worker, the nurse practitioner.
So it wasn't necessarily...
That's what changes.
Right.
That's what's different
That's
in each
the
different place, right?
And that's like in anything in any business or anything like that. People connect
on different levels.
And they connect on
very
different levels.
important
And that's
because the child has to, you can't leave the child out of this equation.
Mm-hmm.
So that child has to be able to relate to the people that are taking care of him. And it has to be a synergy with the entire family.
There's got to be care.
What do you
People got to really, really care about what they're doing.
Right.
It
It's
affects
a phenomenal
so many
group
different
of
people.
clinical people.
What would you suggest to a family that just got this diagnosis and right away they want to get 3 or 4 different opinions, you know, and go to different hospitals and things like that? What's the best way to go about that? Or what's the best way to get them comfortable?
How do you judge?
How do you judge, right? You know, it's a very, very good question. You can't judge for them. Very good question. You were right.
We do that. This is part of our shtick. Whoever gets the good question.
And a powerful one because people, you know, everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, and the entire family that knows nothing about medicine is steering everybody in 1,000 directions. So your pediatrician is going to send you to who he or she feels is the oncologist of choice for knowing you as a person, the family, the child. So they're going to pick somebody. Now you're going to go to that oncologist. They're going to run a battery of tests. They're going to figure out what's going on, and they're going to come up with a diagnosis. They're going to do some sort of an aspiration to get these cells. They're going to test them. You can now take that information
and just go to different places.
Bring it to another place and have a consult done. But you have to remember that once this diagnosis is made, you want to start treatment at a pretty quickly. Yeah, pretty quickly. You're not going to go to 18 different places trying to get the information. You know, sometimes people are searching for the answer that they want because they don't like the answer that they're getting from the clinicians that
we
that
found
are telling
cancer
them.
in my wife 2 years ago by accident.
Yeah.
By accident, she went in for exam. She lay down on the exam table, and the doctor said, "What's this?" Because I don't know. He says, I just got something like this. I want you to go for a CAT scan, X-ray, the whole 9 yards. And he said, I think it would be a good idea for you to go have this checked out. And immediately she just went to Sloan.
Yeah.
You know, and they found, you know, as you and I have had a conversation.
Yes, yeah.
Pretty large tumor there.
Wow.
And then we had to do other therapies. There's a new thing now. I don't know if you're familiar with it, called proton therapy.
Yeah.
There's no proton therapy available in New York. You either have to go to Boston, you have to go to New Jersey, Oklahoma, or some other place out east. I heard they're building, that the 3 major hospitals in Manhattan have put together billions of dollars and they're building a place. But we don't have one. And this is the new
a treatment for certain again for
it
down
doesn't
for
get
certain
rid of
cells and certain
it just
cancers.
tries to stop it from coming back again in the future.
Right. And that's where research is so important.
So Terry, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, right, and want to reach out to your foundation and find out how they can get involved or get help from you, how can they go about doing that?
So the website is a really good, because they can log on to that and they can leave me a message, and that's the Michael Magro Foundation.com, or they can email me direct at tmagro foundation.
You have a chat button?
tmagro foundation yahoo.com. A chat button? There is. The whole website is ADA compliant, and I'd have to ask Roy from RGD Marketing, but there is. It's just I have not probably utilized it to the point that I should.
Okay.
Or could.
So when we come back, we're gonna wrap up with some of the other things that you guys do, as well as some of the events that you got coming up.
True.
You got a lot of things coming up. We were talking about that before.
Right.
So again, if anybody wants to get involved with the Michael Magro Foundation, reach out to Terry. She'll be there to either help you, or if you want to help her, or even just donate. I mean, this is the time of the year that we really should be doing it all year long. But Thanksgiving and this time of the year, you know what? Click on their website, michaelmagrofoundation.com, and donate.
And if you have a question and you want to call in and ask Terry a question now, maybe we could help. At 631-415-1365, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Small business owners, are you having trouble growing your business? Do you feel like you're always swimming upstream? Do you feel like daily tension that I can't get ahead and I don't know why? Hi everybody, my name is Darren Sayafi and I'm a business therapist. What's a business therapist? Well, some people call us coaches, some people call us advisors, other people even call us strategists. We take a vested interest in you and your personal development as a person and as a business owner to give you the tools and structure that you need to take it to that next level. So don't wait. Give me a call today for your free consultation and let me show you how you can help yourself.
Cormack, Executive Director of Orchard Estate of Woodbury, Woodbury's first assisted living and memory care community. We're opening this summer for seniors who need a little or a lot of assistance with things like taking their medication, meals, or just a maintenance-free lifestyle. Our experienced staff keeps seniors and their families connected to what matters most. Call us today to inquire about our model apartments and discover how Orchard Estate of Woodbury is providing the lifestyle Long Island seniors deserve. Call 516-246-2167. That's 516-246-2167, or visit orchardestatewoodbury.com, licensure pending.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show.
Okay, welcome back to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man, and our guest from the Michael Magro Foundation, the chief cook, bottle washer, CEO, president, and yada, 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 and spokesperson
I actually like this
Terry
producer
Magro.
thing because I didn't
like
even
this?
I didn't have to point the finger at you. You picked up right
I
on
mean,
it.
I did right away.
The cue's better.
Hey, Jim, you shouldn't have skipped tonight, buddy.
I want to say I give a shout out to Ren Bakong in
Where's he
Cambodia.
from? Cambodia?
He's from Cambodia. And he says the Siem Reap province. I hope I'm saying that right. But he's a volunteer for children and fundraising, and they help children in Cambodia, and it's www.childcharitycenter.org. That's their website.
We are international.
We're international. We're out
Look
there.
at us.
We're out there. We're making
between
things happen.
Cambodia and the Bronx.
Ren has watched before. We have seen Ren's notes before. So
and he came back.
And he came back. Again. So Ren, thank you for watching.
That's great. Good stuff.
And,
Fantastic.
We're here with Terry, and Terry, tell us a little bit more.
How you make money for the organization.
How you make money for the organization.
Show me the money.
Show me the money, right? Because
look,
what it comes down to, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. They go, well, you're a nonprofit. Yeah, but you need money to do the things that
operate.
You do. Yeah. And nonprofits run like businesses.
They should.
Nobody understands that.
Yeah.
They all think it's
Yeah.
free money, and nobody. That's not the case. They run it like a business.
There are people that run them that don't realize that they're really a business.
A business, yeah.
That
it's
helps
totally,
people,
totally
but
a
they
business.
don't.
Yeah.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
So
what do you do? What makes you guys as popular as you are?
So
in that world?
I think to answer that question first, what makes us a little bit more popular is that we communicate back with our donors, and we're constantly engaging with our donors. We do stewardship reports. We're always on Facebook and things posted on the website. Gina does a great job keeping everybody informed as to what we do and how much money we raise and where the money goes. So how do we raise the money? It's basically, it's a three-legged stool. The biggest leg of it is fundraising. So we do about 7 different events a year, and some people think we spread ourselves too thin, but not really, because there are so many events that capture a different audience.
I was going to say there are very different
events.
Yes.
And many of the board members champion those events, and they're the chair people for it. So we have Michael loved basketball and he loved lacrosse. Our logo is a penguin. He loved penguins.
Yeah, it is
with the lacrosse stick. And what we do with the penguin is we change him around for different events. So for basketball, we have him shooting a basketball. For soccer, he's kicking the ball. For the tasting, he's dressed up like a chef. His lacrosse number, he was in 7th grade when he passed away. His number was 33. So everything is 33. So Jimmy Montana runs the basketball event, which is the first Saturday of March at Hicksville High School. He also runs the lacrosse event. Jimmy has a lacrosse company that he runs, MDP himself, so it's a natural fit for that. Another board member, Brian, and Brian lives in Atlanta, so we have board members that live in different places as well.
How did you find your board members?
Our board members, we started with some of the clinical people and my 2 very good friends, the secretary and Linda Steinberg and Sharon Paternoster and our treasurer. So we formulated it with that, and then we started to bring a couple of clinical people in. And so boards have to change as the years go on. So we started with a lot of people from the hospital that we were comfortable with, and then kind of migrated to more business people, some clinical people, a variety, so that we kind of go the gamut. So now we have people that are in finance and attorneys and clinical people. It's a variety of things.
You have a business.
So we have a business, right? Because you need the money. So each one of those events happens strategically at different times during the year. Our 2 signature events are our golf outing, which for 2020 will be Thursday, June 4th, and that's at Cold Spring Country Club. And on October, because you need to make the calendar so far in advance.
Absolutely.
October 5th of 2020 will be our evening of tasting and giving, which is your first event.
That is by far the best event ever.
Is it like a chef's tasting where
it's beyond that? It's like every restaurant there is in Long Island. There are bars. There's dessert tables. You're not lacking for food. There's 500 or 600 people, right, that show up.
Yeah.
And where do you hold that?
We have it at the Carlton at Eisenhower Park, and so we went back. Let's go back to Paul is a chef, so my husband is a chef. So the very first event that we did, other than this 3-on-3 basketball, when we bought a scoreboard for Hicksville Middle School, was the evening of tasting. So Tom Scheidel, who everybody knows as a restaurateur, and Paul had come up with the idea of doing a tasting. So, it wasn't a new concept. Even back in 2004 when we started, many other places were doing them as well, but they really put, a lot of love into it.
A lot of people don't understand the whole tasting thing.
Tasting?
Oh, God, is it great. Chinese food, Italian food, Indian food, Japanese food, sushi,
in this particular
pastries,
one, but
bakeries.
A lot of restaurants, if you walk in and say, hey, I want to do a chef tasting, it's basically everything on the menu for the most part. They give you little samples of everything. And if you go to a place that really knows their wine, and they pair the wine with it too.
There are wine. There's the ice cream peak. There's everything there.
This is slightly different because it's a lot of Paul's personal friends. They've been with us for the 15 years that we've been doing the tasting event. Their restaurants, are all local, and it comes with a lot of love. They do it because they respect Paul, and they really enjoy it, and they understand what the foundation does, and the
it's
fact
a great location.
that it goes back to the families they love, because it's we're not losing things in a lot of overhead. So that's a big thing.
And if you don't get there early enough, you're going to park your car on the 18th hole, and you're going to have to walk because it is packed.
Well, that's what happened to Norman, obviously, but.
I got there
Terry, one of the great things about your foundation, and you and I were talking before the show even started, was you have low overhead.
Yes.
It's not like some of these nonprofits where people are living off of it.
Right.
You have a lot of people that are volunteering their time. You volunteer a lot of your time. To this.
We operate on a very, very low budget.
90% is 90 cents is sensational.
Yeah.
The major charities are not doing that.
Yeah, a lot of great donations, in-kind donors. We work, we basically, the boardroom is our dining room table. That's where the board meetings are, and where all of the committee meetings are for all of the events that we do. So
I got to say this, but it's all about you and Paul.
Yes.
It's about you and Paul. It's great that you have these board members, and I know some of the board members, they're friends, but it's all about you and Paul. If you were a son of a gun and Paul was the same way, you wouldn't be getting the things that you get.
I appreciate that.
People
Thank
will
you.
feel sorry and upset and whatever it may be and say, I'm sorry, and move on. They don't move on. Once they meet you and Paul, you got them.
My mother-in-law says we're like Velcro.
Well, you know what? That's fantastic.
It's true.
Well, a lot of families, when they go through a situation like this, it kind of breaks up the family.
It does. There's a lot. So, we see that all the time.
Do you work with other organizations to help refer? Like, if you see that going on, I know you guys don't do that.
Yeah.
Right. That's not something that the Michael Magro Foundation
the actual emotional, type of thing. No, we don't. We work with a lot of other nonprofits, a lot of smaller nonprofits.
So tell us about those nonprofits and how you work with them.
What happens is a lot of times the bills, quite honestly, Dad, they're so astronomical where they're having trouble paying mortgages, and those are 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 mortgages on Long Island. It's a little bit richer than what we can pay, so we're kind of capped at a certain number per family, and that varies depending on the situation and the social workers. But then what we'll do is we'll reach out through our little network of nonprofits and say, this family is in need. Can you help with some portion of that mortgage, for instance? Or sometimes it's the Verizon bill, sometimes it's the electric bill. It just varies. Or it's a medical expense that's not covered, because there's a lot of things insurance, like you said from the beginning, doesn't cover. So we'll kind of work together to say, let's all help this particular family. And the social workers in the hospitals are very familiar with all of the organizations, and some a little smaller than ours have caps a little greater than we do. We're a little bit more open, and because we do raise so much money, we talked about the 3 legs. So one of them is the fundraising. The second one is grant writing, and so Tammy does all of our grant writing. Tammy Severino, Tammy Severino, yeah. So we're very fortunate to be able, because tangibly we have some great programs, and she's able to write grants for those. We have a school reentry program that helps the kids. They're going back into the school system while they're on treatment, because it's an outpatient facilities in a lot of places. But once they get to the schools, the people that are more nervous is the gym teacher, the classroom teacher, the principal, more nervous about the kid coming back into the school system than the child themselves.
Well, it's almost like they're afraid to touch the kid.
Exactly.
Or they're afraid,
the only thing the child wants, no matter what age they are, is to be back in the game and have his normal life. And not to be, right. So we go in there with a social worker, child life specialist.
Can you name some of these other organizations that you work with?
So I work with the Carly Rose Foundation, the Spencer Foundation. In Hicksville, we have a couple as well, which is escaping me. I'm sorry to say right at this moment. But there are some great organizations out there, and the hospitals kind of pull us together a little bit too, which is really, really, really good. It's great. Sarah Grace, the Sarah Grace Foundation in Hicksville. So we'll kind of work together. I live in Hicksville. Yeah.
Absolutely. She said earlier that's where he went to school.
Right. And we teamed up with the Spencer Foundation a couple of years ago, and between Stony Brook Hospital Pediatric Oncology and NYU Winthrop's Pediatric Inpatient Unit, we are purchasing PS4 systems for every bed in the hospital. The PS4 PlayStation.
PlayStation,
right.
Yeah.
So we're buying the console, we're downloading $250 worth of games, and then buying an extra controller so somebody can play with them at the same time. And that's been fantastic, because
people don't realize little things like that make all the difference in the world. Difference. So Terry, we're coming down to the end. Yeah. Believe it or not. Wow. And I want to get to.
We just started.
We just started. I know. But she'll be back. We're going to have her back on. This always happens. Yeah. We get on a roll and we get things going. But you and I were talking earlier. You have the one event, right? You have the two events in June and October.
Oh, those are the big ones.
So we got two coming up in the next couple of weeks, right?
Fun ones.
So they sounded like a good time. So let's talk about those.
So the first one is on December 8th at Kingfish Oyster Bar, which is on Corporate Drive in Westbury. It's inside the Vanderbilt, the apartment building that's there. So that's Courtney and Tom Scheidel, daughter and father, are running that. So it's a brunch and a shopping day. So it'll be kind of a fun holiday shopping.
And when is that?
Courtney, it's Sunday, December 8th from 11 to 5 at Kingfish. That's going to be a lot of fun, and Courtney's put a lot of work into it and trying to just bring things together and bring awareness to the charity. So it'll be real nice, and the vendors will be donating something back to the charity. And then the Americana in Manhasset, Tory Birch reached out to us and said they wanted to do a little shopping day as well. So I was not going to say no to Tory Birch. So that one is on Sunday, December 15th, and that's going to be from 11 to 2. So those are
I'm not telling my wife
ways.
about that.
Oh, you have to.
Oh, wait, Renee's watching. Renee, you're watching. Yeah, she's watching.
She loves
That's
Tory
it, man.
Birch.
You're done. Tory Birch, you're done.
There you go.
You better come to some concerts, because I'm going to need to make up for Tory Birch.
So, there are lots of ways that people can help. And third-party events such as those two events are run by different people, and then a charity is connected to it, whether it's our charity or another charity. Many, many things could be done. I have to say, Darren, just as we're closing, a lot of the families over the 15 years that we have helped are now reaching back to us because their children are out of treatment, they're doing well, and they want to help and give back to the organizations that helped them when they were struggling. There's nothing better that makes you feel really great to know that those families are coming to me now saying, I want to help. My company, I can see straight now, because you really can't see too
Mike
straight.
Dominguez?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike helped me when my wife had problems. He was the first one at the door saying, we'll help you with transportation, we'll do this, we'll do that. Wonderful, wonderful guy.
Right.
And I tell you what, Terry, just what you just said just shows what great people you and your husband are.
Oh,
absolutely.
Because
that's why
people don't do that.
Yeah,
unless
just anybody.
They feel
it's really a great feeling.
It really is.
To see. I just got a check today from a family that every year at this time we helped her daughter through her time, and now every year she sends us a check for $100. It doesn't matter. Whatever amount it is,
whatever you can
fantastic.
give.
The fact that they're still thinking of you is huge.
Yep.
Even if you can hold an event, because these events, they're getting a portion. You're getting a portion of the proceeds for these events.
Right.
If you have a business and you want to hold an event and you want to, work with the foundation and donate a portion of the proceeds from the event, get in touch with Terry.
Yeah. And if you want tickets, if you're doing raffles and stuff, I got some great shows that are coming up. I've given before.
I know you
I'd
have.
be more
You're
than
very
happy
generous. Yes.
to donate
Thank
again.
You.
I mean,
thank you.
Whatever I can do.
Yeah.
So tell everybody again, how do we get in touch with you?
So
where can they send a donation?
The Michael Magro Foundation.com website. There is a donation page right on there, and we break it down to say if it's a $20, $50, $100, what that exactly buys for somebody. Again, I try to be very transparent, and we want people to know where the money is going, and it's really going directly to the families. The social workers can tell you that in a minute.
And Terry, we want to thank you for being on. This has been
really,
a wonderful
show.
An honor to be with you, and thank you
so much. Well, we really
much.
Appreciate all the hard work that you put in. You do.
That we have you here.
Thank you.
Really,
so it was great. I really,
great.
And that's why people give back. We want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to both and your families and all of the listeners. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. And thank you for being on the show.
Before we say goodnight and we go into Thanksgiving tomorrow, I would, especially since I had been in a hospital, I have a kind of like a different outlook a bit on life. And tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and if you reverse the words, it's giving thanks. But we have to do this, especially what's going on in the world today, and it has nothing to do with political beliefs or anything else. It's just the way society happens to be, and how people just need to get along and whatever, and they need to be very appreciative of what they have.
Yes.
And also what they don't have on the negative side of things. You got to be really, really grateful and thankful, for what you have.
And that kind of echoes what I wanted to say too, is don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you have.
Amen.
Focus on the family around you. Focus on the fact that you have a roof over your head. Focus on the fact that you can watch us right here, because if you're watching us, you have the capability, you have some things that a lot of people in this world just don't have. So be appreciative of that.
And accept Thanksgiving for what it's not about the food. It's about giving thanks, and the pumpkin pie ain't bad either. But
that's all the pumpkin pies.
I'm not a pumpkin pie. I'd rather have the apple pie.
I like them both.
All the pies, right? They're
any pie.
Again, we want to wish everybody, all our fans, a great Thanksgiving. God bless to everybody and to your families. And I guess we'll see everybody on Monday coming up. You want to think that's it?
That's it. We'll say. Well, Monday who do we got Monday? We got our buddy Keith. Keith Ray.
Keith Ray's coming on. We're going to rock on Monday.
We're going to rock on Monday.
Oh, get your dancing shoes on.
DJ Keith Ray.
Wow.
And there's a connection between me and Keith that most people don't even know about.
And we're going to let everybody know. Not that they're going to care, but they're going to let them know on Monday. So anyway, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
They're all dead. The lines cut off inside my head. I left here like a broken man with no idea last stand. Oh, my mind clears. Lord, I shed all my tears. Oh, now baby, I was just waiting here while you moved on. Security, this newfound freedom you kept from me. The sound of all your loaded gun. This outbreak war has just begun. The sound of all your loaded gun. This broken man has already won. Oh, my mind clears. Lord, I shed all my tears. Oh, now baby, I was just waiting here while you moved on. Na na na